Before we start, I wanted to mention that these meetings are open to all PIH staff who is interested in training, and it serves as a platform to connect, to share new perspectives, to explore new training opportunities, and hopefully to little by little build a collaborative cross-site training network. So welcome and hope you enjoyed today's session. Just a quick reminder is that we have an automatic translation service available. So please, if you want to go to the interpretation button in the Zoom toolbar at the bottom of the screen and choose interpretation either in Spanish or English, which are two available languages for today. All right, well, first of all, we wanted to provide you with a brief overview of our meeting agenda for the next 6 months, covering January through the month of June. And as a reminder, the focus of the meetings is alternate. So January, March, May meetings are dedicated to provide time to exchange knowledge and experiences around training, also spotlighting training initiatives from specific care delivery sites. And the alternating months are focused on showcasing training tools and resources that are available to all PIH staff. Today we'll have a really interesting presentation which will begin in just a moment. We are also excited. We wanted to let you know that we have started building the cross-site training initiative SharePoint, and this will live on the impact and planning SharePoint page. So over the coming months, we will continue developing this platform, and we will inform you as soon as it is ready for access. This SharePoint will serve as a comprehensive one-stop resource hub for all PIH staff, and it will provide easy access to training materials and tools. So we're thrilled about the potential of this new resource and look forward to sharing it with you soon. We're excited about this. Now, as you know, we've continued to meet with our specific key training related point people at each site, and just for some site specific updates. For the San Sante team, we explored the research team's on-demand training initiative during this past weeks, and we're grateful for their valuable insights, which will help enhance our training hub document, and we're working on that process. Also, for the Lesotho team, these past weeks we met with Mapatlong, who is Lesotho's training coordinator, and she introduced us to DHIS2, which is a platform that Lesotho team uses to manage training activities at their site. So the platform's ability to support pre and post tests has proven particularly useful for grant reporting, and we're looking at how this will present an exciting opportunity for cross-site collaboration. What is the reach of this platform, and how some other sites could potentially also see it as a tool for managing their own trainings. For Liberia, a training point person in Maryland County who is responsible for the social protection activities and training of community health workers at the site outlined their department's needs, and she shared very specific requirements with us that include leadership development, computer skills, and other specialized training areas and needs in training areas such as, for example, nutrition and other particular topics. So we are documenting all this information. From the Malawi team, we were able to gain a deeper understanding of the training programs and aspirations for future growth. And we had very insightful information these past weeks, and we're gathering that information and registering it on a specific platform, which I'll show you in just a moment. Also, in terms of the Peru team, we're currently reviewing the training database of the Socios en Salud team, which involves managing logistical and administrative processes to organize the raw training materials and trainer and facilitator contact information, which will be added, as you can remember, to the training repository, which will live on the SharePoint document that we just shared, the one-stop shop training for on the SharePoint page. And for the Rwanda team, we learned more about IMB's social medicine and community program during these past weeks, and their comprehensive 3-part training on conducting quality clinical trainings. So we're in the process of seeing how this course can potentially be adapted to an online platform version, and we'll let you know more about this in the future. Also, to standardize training-related data across all sites, we're in the process of completing a comprehensive key training information sheet. So here our goal is to gather all relevant data by the end of this fiscal year for all sites with which we're working with. So the data collected will include information on the training point people, on identifying training topics of expertise, training interests, key partners, information on any form of training management system that the sites currently have. And we're also documenting trainings conducted at the sites, program or unit level, different levels, and we're including their respective topics and target audiences. And we're looking to identify and record normative expressed and perceived training needs for each of these trainings that are provided. Also, the newsletter has officially returned to a monthly format to keep readers informed on a more constant basis. So we kindly ask that you let us know if there are more people from your site who would like to be added to our mailing list and can receive the newsletter in Spanish, English, or French, whatever is more convenient. We also wanted to invite once again any site members who want to contribute to the cross-site training newsletter by sharing a brief description of either a successful training experience at your site to be shared as our training highlight of the month, or offer insights on a training and mentorship strategy for professional development. So these sections, as a highlight, these sections are a great way to showcase your work, to celebrate your achievements, and to inspire colleagues across our network. So please don't hesitate to write us and share these experiences so that we can all learn from them. All right, so now let's move on to the topic of our agenda for today. We're going to learn about the OnePIH Social Medicine in Action course. And well, first of all, we have some brief bios of our presenters for today. We have first of all, Liberty Wigman. So Liberty holds a bachelor's degree in conservation biology from the Central College and a master's in development practice from Regis University. She joined PIH in early 2018 and served as Chief of Operations, a Human Resource Coordinator and Volunteer Coordinator at Compañeros en Salud in Mexico. Then in 2020, she transitioned to the Socios en Salud team in Peru, where she led the training unit at the Center for Global Health, creating impactful online courses, webinars, and boot camps for the OnePIH community and beyond. And as of June 2024, she became the Associate Director of Knowledge and Planning on the Impact and Planning team, which is a cross-site role within the US coordination site. And she now leverages her experience to develop cross-site training strategies, enhance curricula, and expand access to training resources across PIH Global Network. We also have Fernay Leandre, who is a medical doctor and HIV/TB specialist, currently serving as Senior Health and Policy Advisor under PIH Medical Director, after serving 2 years as Director of Programs at San Mila Sante in Haiti. He is an instructor in the Department of Social Medicine at Harvard Medical School and received the prestigious Smith Fellowship in 2010 through the Division of Global Health Equity at Brigham Women and Children's Hospital. And since the COVID-19 pandemic, he has been involved in the design and implementation of the PIH in preparedness and responses, specifically in Haiti. We also have, apologies. Well, we also have our third presenter, who is Morgan Benson. He is a senior manager on the impact and planning team at the PIH coordination site and is supporting the strategy refresh as well as the social medicine and actual focal area. So let's hear from our presenters for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura, for that lovely introduction. I'm just going to pull up my screen here. And to kick us off, I've invited Morgan to give us a little bit more information on the Social Medicine and Action focal area at Partners in Health. It's a focal area that's still in the stage of planning and has not launched yet, but it is key to understanding the background behind the course we've developed. So Morgan, I'll give you the microphone to say a little bit about the focal area.
Thanks, Liberty. And hi, everyone. I will just speak briefly to provide this context, as Liberty said. So the focal areas are areas of work that were identified by PIH the previous year to as areas where we are most best placed to quickly advance collective progress across each of the sites and areas of work that we're doing. And so the 4 focal areas that you'll see on the screen, the 2 on the right will probably look most familiar. So many folks have seen the work coming out of non-negotiables, and more recently, folks have been developing the tuberculosis strategy. The role of the impact and planning team is really to develop to facilitate the development of these strategies. And so for social medicine in action, which is in the bottom left there, we are currently working on developing the strategic framework under the guidance of a cross-site and cross-branch steering group. And the course that Liberty will talk about today is really the first touch point that many folks will have with this focal area. And it's really a foundational activity to embed many of the social medicine values that that exist within the organization to more holistically embed them in our staff. And so that is one piece of this focal area. And if we go to the next slide, this is a very early draft of the overall strategic framework for this focal area. And so all of the bolded text, the 3 pillars that you see there, those are the pillars that the steering group is really running with. And so the text underneath those is still under development, but the 3 major pillars for this work are embedding the values with our staff, with our partners and broader stakeholders. And the first initiative for this work is the course that Liberty will talk about. The other 2 pillars that have emerged for this are training the next generation of social medicine practitioners, which is really focused on our medical education work. And then the third is recommitting our focus to social support and exploring forward-looking priorities for that, ways to create more of it and to create more partnerships towards it. So these are the 3 broad pillars. Please don't take any screenshots. You're welcome to, but all of this is under development. And yeah, this is sort of where this course lives for this focal area. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or other members of the impact and planning team. And if you go to our SharePoint site, you can find a little bit more information about the status of each of the focal areas. So thank you for that time, and I'll pass it back to Liberty.
Sorry, had trouble getting back to my microphone. Thank you for that introduction, Morgan. I would encourage you to drop the SharePoint page in the chat, just so people can access it easily if they wanted to learn more. Thanks. So next we have Dr. Fernay Leandra, who has been the leader in determining the course topics to include and course facilitators for this new OnePIH Social Medicine and Action course that we'll be rolling out later this semester. And so Frenae, I'll give you the microphone to talk a little bit about the history and development of the course.
Oh,
You're
I'm
muted.
sorry, I can hear you. You are muted.
okay.
Okay.
Now you hear me?
Yes.
My computer has no sound, but the sound is from my phone.
Great.
So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It is really exciting to track the process that arrived to all of those modules and sessions. So as you could see from this slide, we have from the first workshop a group of cross-site facilitators, I would say senior facilitators now, people who have been doing this type of training for the last 2 decades. So we arrived to a couple of them from the first workshop in 2023 in OnePIH. So the first document, the initial document was the draft from not only Joya collecting all of those topics that we have been teaching across the site, but also with ABB and giving the first feedback and iteration on how relevant those are to put them on into some competencies. And with the cross-site team all over, we arrived to craft all of those modules. And some of those facilitators have been training at their side on some of those modules or many of those. So we chose based on the interest of people and their inclination, those topics. And they have been not only facilitating them at many of those successive training that we have done, the TOT, the individual site training. And now we could say that we have a group of senior facilitators. And the most important is to know that anyone could facilitate those modules, because with the Tovuti that you will see later, we have the asynchronous modules that anyone with the facilitator guide that we will launch and by March, everyone could be able at the site to facilitate with the supervision for sure, because some of them we said not difficult topic, but they need some experience. So talking, I could start by myself, and where we have been teaching most only the culture, the value, the missions about PIH story. And this are really important in starting those training for specifically, even I was thinking for new employees, but at some point our experience said the contrary. People who have been with us for 7, even 10 years and try to navigate to digest very well these sessions. And we have the social theories that are really important to grounded our practice. And Joya facilitates as with all the social determinant, and that session was start with Maxo, and Joya take the relay, and also the human health and human rights has been at play and also facilitated by Joya. Later on, we have been joined by Mata and Fatima in Peru last year, and they conduct the session that Steman used to talk about. It was the social medicine definition and scope compared to global health and public health. And also they conduct 2 sessions on restorative circles. The team from there has been really paramount in putting innovation on the restorative circle, which is not part of this session yet, or just those modules yet. So we have Malé who joined us as we are developing the intersectionality theories, and Father Eddie, who have been since the last 2 decades with us in Haiti and is teaching the staff at PIH and also the resident, the nearby resident on integration of professional in rural, and also the anthropological aspect of medicine, and also talking about staff wellness. Ali joined us last year, 2023, almost 2 years now, and with the session on liberation practice, but also there was the compassion session, which was later done by Akiki. Akiki has joined us after the first TOT, training of trainers in Wenkwavu. Joel Curtin with a session on advocacy, that we all are involved in advocacy, but we need the ABC, the basic on that. And John Palacios have been really paramount to the development of many of all the role play, specifically when we come to some blaming game and other that have been developed with the company of St. Salud to teach the new generation of health professionals. Join us since the first workshop, Jean-Louis Dor on research template on social medicines. This is really important because everyone, after this training, we hope that they could conduct some basic research with thematic on social medicine. And Jesse joined us for the equitable health financing modules, which is really important as we are talking about equity, to understand all of the measures and how we could really study equity in terms of economic analysis. Steman, who have been there with us since we start the residency in Haiti, 2013. So conduct the session on emotional intelligence and self-care, and also the structural violence that have been the basic of all of these social medicines. So I think it is all, if I don't have any next step, but this knowledge will be measured as pre and post test for the staff, but for the school, for the medical school, they will be embedded in their cursus, from basic science to clinical science and for the resident now and through the 3 to 5 years, and they will have measures how they practice social medicines, how they practice equity. They will have measures into their cursus through the 5 years of residency program. I think it is all.
Thank you, Fernay. I really appreciate that detailed history of why each topic was selected and each facilitator as well to present those topics. So the Center for Global Health team has taken this really wonderful knowledge that Fernay and Joya have compiled and put together an online asynchronous version of the course to be able to more widely share the course as taught by the core facilitators. So I'll show you first the online version of the course that meets the key competencies of critical thinking, ethics, innovation, and leadership, and will be available to all OnePartners in Health. All sites will have access to this course. We are translating it to Spanish, French, and English. And in March, we will be in contact with our key training people from each site, as well as those who have attended the in-person course with Fernay previously, to work on adjusting the course to the context of each site. So for example, if there's a case study in the lesson on intersectionality about Lesotho, and you would like to have one about Liberia instead, we will work with you on making those case studies that are specific to your site. So without further ado, I'll show you what the course looks like online. So this is our e-learning platform at Partners in Health. If you have not yet seen this or would like to learn more about it, please contact me. I'm happy to schedule a tutorial and a training. This is a tool that is open to all OnePartners in Health to use. All sites are welcome to take advantage of this e-learning platform. The social medicine course currently is available on the platform in English, soon to come in Spanish, and then by March, hopefully, will also be available in French. So we have this language toggle here, and we will be liberating the French version as soon as that course is ready. And then we have built this course to include a learning objective for each lesson, followed by a very dynamic Geniali PowerPoint for our learners to click through and watch all of the videos that are included in each lesson, some of which, for example, include animated videos that explain case studies.
Let's start by reflecting on the multiple.
And then is followed by a quiz after moving through all of the theoretical content for the lesson. And right now we are in the pilot stage of this course. So we're also collecting feedback from each lesson on what we can improve for the lesson, how collaborators and staff would like to engage with the material moving forward, and then how long it took approximately to move through all of the material in the lesson. So we'll have a better idea of how much time is necessary per lesson after the pilot. And so you can see that format is replicated in the next lesson as well, where you move through the PowerPoint little by little, watching videos. You complete the quiz, and then you fill out the feedback survey. So if anyone would like to join us in this pilot course, I will drop the link in the chat to sign up as a piloter. The pilot is taking place this month, in the month of January. So you have about 2 weeks left to complete the pilot if you're interested in joining. And then we will use the month of February to make improvements to the course based on the feedback from the pilot, while we're also translating the course so that by the end of March, we'll have a final version of the online course in English, French, and Spanish. And then in April, we will begin contextualizing the course to each site's needs and preferences. So care delivery sites will be in contact in March, and then in April, we'll start working with you to contextualize this online course to be whatever it is that you need it to be so that it is useful to your site. In pair with this really well done online course that the Center for Global Health at Socios and Salud has helped us build, we have also built a facilitator guide for those in-person dynamics that Frenae was mentioning, such as Dan Palasuelo's Blame Game or Joya's lesson on narrative medicine. And so in this facilitator guide, you can see it's 41 pages. We have about 6 different dynamic activities that you can lead in person with your staff to reinforce the online content. And these dynamic facilitator guides are built to include all of the information that you need to lead this lesson, even if you've never participated in it before. But it might be a little bit easier if you've seen it done once before. We also include extra resources that you can read through to better understand the topic that the lesson is teaching before you lead the lesson. You can see we have the materials necessary and the objectives of the dynamic. And then once you actually get into the lesson, we have the full transcript of everything that you need to ask or say as you lead the lesson, so you can just read through it out loud to your participants. And after you've done it once, it'll be a lot easier to be dynamic and not be reading from a piece of paper as you go through it. But just for the first time, we have this guide that you can read through to lead the lesson with your students or with your staff. And so we have at the Center for Global Health developed both the online theoretical content that's 100% asynchronous and the in-person facilitator guides to reinforce and put into practice the learning from the online course. Okay, now coming back to our PowerPoint. I shared the online course. I've shared in the chat the opportunity to sign up to pilot the course. And now finally, we have the timeline for the course rollout. So right now in January, we are piloting the English version of the course while translating the course to Spanish and French. In February, we will incorporate that feedback and solidify a launch plan for US coordination staff. In March, we will launch the course for all US coordination staff and begin to reach out to care delivery sites to contextualize the course to their site's needs. And like I said, that could be changing case studies, it could be adding lessons or removing lessons based on who's available to facilitate at your site. In April and May, that contextualization process will continue. And by June, we hope to start creating launch plans for sites to be able to roll out their individualized version of the course as desired. Any questions? Or Frenae, Morgan, anything else you'd like to add to that introduction?
Yeah, so thank you. I just want to add in terms of timeline, what we expect, what we are finalizing to do, the launch in Wenquavu, but pending confirmation of availability of the training center for the week of March 17. So I'm not sure. We are still expecting an answer from Nadine, and I'm not sure if there's any evolution on this. So putting question mark on this date, kind of save the date for the week of March 17. We will call on the champions who have been from all of the side to launch the routine in practice, and also the facilitator guides everything from with the last feedback we will receive, but we will have a cross side again for the launch in OnePIH. So save the date pending confirmation of the IMB team. I don't know if there's any evolution on that right now, but
I think we have a meeting about it this week.
okay. So there's, I think Nadine and Fred, they worked last week. They said they will send us an answer this week. So we will know before.
Does anyone else have any questions about the topics or facilitators or the online course or the manual for leading the dynamic in-person sessions? Or any questions about the timeline for rollout of this social medicine course? I don't see any questions in the chat or any hands raised. So if there are no further questions, then I'll pass back to Laura and Erika. I don't know if you have any last announcements that you'd like to make today before we close today's call.
Yes, Liberty, thank you. Well, yes, thank you so much for that very insightful presentation. I think we have a question from Patricia. Patricia, if you would like
Yes,
to.
yes. Good afternoon. I am Patricia Efe Azikiwe. I'm the RMNCAH Clinical Program Manager for Sierra Leone. I put it in the chat already, but I just want to know the training information you got from Sierra Leone. Maybe I will add something to make it more detailed. I'm still hoping to get the feedback. Thank you.
Okay, Patricia. So what we before in the previous slides or at the beginning of the presentation, we provided some updates of the one-on-one training meetings we've been having with Training Point people from the different sites. Our meeting with Sierra Leone, our monthly meeting with Sierra Leone, which took place, which usually takes place on like every Monday. It was yesterday. It was programmed for yesterday. However, at this moment, it was reprogrammed because some of the members at the CL team were unable to join, and it has been rescheduled for next Friday. I think it's the 24th of January, next Friday. And we will, well, at the moment, we're in the process of, or the Sierra Leone team is in the process of gathering. There's a person who is responsible for gathering training materials or raw training materials and information of training facilitators to be uploaded onto the training repository on SharePoint. Her name is Beata Mukarwengo, so she's the one responsible for that activity. And this next Friday, we'll get updates on how this process is going of collection and sharing of this data. And we're also going to be meeting with Dr. Marta Lado from the Sierra Leone team for the first time. She has been on previous performing other activities and has been unable to meet with us, but she will be the one who will be taking over the training related coordination at the site because of all this restructuring that has taken place. And this is the first time we'll be meeting with her, so we're really excited to start coordinating and start working towards training specific goals for for the Sierra Leone site. Thank you. I don't know if that answers your question, or if it was more of a specific.
No, that's very good, Dr. Matalado. Yes, please, can I get the link also, so that I find time to join the meeting? Thank you.
Of course, of course. Thank you so much for your interest in joining. We will add you to the meeting on Friday. Fantastic. Thank you, Patricia. And great to meet you. All right. Does anybody else have any further questions before we provide some final announcements? Oops, sorry. All right. Well, just some key points for the closing of our meeting for today. A reminder to please submit your training materials via the SharePoint Training Hub survey. As you know, we always send out a follow-up email after each monthly training meeting, where we provide links for these for what we're mentioning here, for uploading training materials. Also, please remember to review and submit information to the SharePoint OnePIH Training Initiative Hub structure document, which, as you remember, is this skeleton of the SharePoint page, which we have been building during these past months with the help of site training point people who have been giving us insights and detailed requests as to what they would like to see on this SharePoint training page, this one-stop shop for training, what resources, what tools will be useful for them to have available in this SharePoint page. And we've documented all of that in this skeleton document. And so please, if you have the chance, if you have the interest, review the document. And the document is actually habilitated to add comments. So whichever comments that you do add, we will be including them onto the training structure on our hand. And of course, we'll make sure that something of what you've requested is also available on this SharePoint page. Yes, Jimena, please go ahead. Thank you, Dr. Jimena.
Hello, everyone. Just to make sure that I understood, so the course, the social medicine course, it's already finished and it's on Djibouti. So if I sync up to the pilot, no, espera. So I can ask for the people who is interested in my team to sync up to the pilot to take the course already.
I'm just gonna.
Does that make sense? I'm sorry.
Open
I'm just
the
waking
timeline.
up.
Oh, and I might be in the wrong language channel. I don't think I can change language channels. So I guess maybe Mafe or someone, if I'm in the Spanish channel, will you let me know and I'll speak in Spanish instead?
English?
Hi,
But
Liberty. This is the English channel.
To answer your question, is piloting in English right now. And so we're piloting it primarily with the United States office, while we're translating the course into Spanish and French. And so our plan is to make the course available to Mexico and to other sites starting in March, once it's fully translated. But if you have someone on the team in Mexico who would like to participate in the English pilot, they're more than welcome to sign up, and we would love to have their feedback. So,
Okay, so then another question. In this moment, the contents are already reviewed, and the pilot is to improve the platform.
yes. So
Is
it's
that
not,
correct? Okay, yeah.
we don't have the final version yet. We're collecting feedback from participants to improve it before we make it available across all of Partners in Health. So we're at the feedback collection stage. Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Liberty, and thank you, Hime, for that clarifying question. Does anybody else have any further questions on anything mentioned during today's call? All right. Well, if not, then we just want to remind you to please join our next month for our next month's call for an overview of another interactive presentation. And yeah, well, hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and thank you for joining. See you next month.
Thanks, everyone. See you next month.